Hello student, good morning. I am Dr. Ajay Kumar Sinha, Professor of Chemistry. Today I will continue from the last class. Last class I was discussing questions, answer and explanation based on entropy and free energy change. Actually, I am discussing multiple choice question, answer and explanation based on chemical thermodynamics. Many questions last class I have discussed. Today I will continue. Now question I am reading. For an endothermic reaction to be spontaneous, first option delta S free energy. Delta S must be positive. Delta S entropy. First option is delta S must be positive. Means entropy must be positive. Second, delta S must be negative. Third option, delta must be 0. Fourth, delta G must be positive. Again I am repeating the question. For an endothermic reaction to be spontaneous, first option, delta S must be positive. Second, delta S must be negative. Option C, delta must be 0. Fourth, delta G must be positive. Just to think, this question you can answer within 10 seconds. It is full of concept. Already I have discussed. Now just to think, after that I will tell correct answer and its explanation. Its correct answer is delta S must be positive. Change in entropy must be positive. Okay. For endothermic reaction, you know, heat you have to supply. Correct? Then question is, for an endothermic reaction to be spontaneous, you want to make it spontaneous, then delta S, change in entropy, must be positive. Then for that, what you have to do? Actually, you know that in exothermic reaction, delta H plus delta H opposes. Hence, delta S must favor. Both are opposite. It will function in opposite way. Hence, delta must favor. Hence, delta must be positive. Delta must be positive, because we want to make it spontaneous. Then delta must be positive, means it should be in a condition to be disorder means random, only then reaction will be spontaneous. Then for that, delta S must be positive. Okay. And actually delta G, about the delta, last option was delta, it's actually delta S must not be 0. That is wrong answer. Delta S must be negative. That is also wrong answer. And delta S must be positive. That is the correct answer. And delta, for last option was delta G must be positive. This is also wrong. For a spontaneous reaction, delta G must be negative. And present question, delta must be positive for an endothermic reaction to be spontaneous. Next question, now I am telling you. The approximate enthalpy of fusion of ice and the enthalpy of vaporization of water per mole respectively are: first option 18 kilojoule and 80 kilojoule. Second, 6 kilojoule and 40.6 kilojoule. Third option, 80 kilojoule and 540 kilojoule. Fourth option, 8 kilojoule and 80 kilojoule. Again, I am repeating the question, listen carefully. The approximate enthalpy of fusion, H, enthalpy of fusion of ice and the enthalpy of evaporation of water per mole respectively are. For first option is 18 kilojoule. This is for ice, and for evaporation of water 80 kilojoule. Second option 6 kilojoule and 40.6 kilojoule. Third option 80 kilojoule and 540 kilojoule. Fourth option 8 kilojoule and 80 kilojoule. First option was 18 kilojoule and 80 kilojoule. Now just to think, after that I will tell correct answer and its explanation. Just to think. Its correct answer is 6 kilojoule and 40.6 kilojoule, means enthalpy of fusion of ice per mole. Its value is 6 kilojoule. Correct? Enthalpy of fusion of ice per mole, and enthalpy of vaporization of water per mole. Its value is 40.6 kilojoule. That you must remember. Okay. Delta H F means here fusion. Delta H F ice, its value is 6 kilojoule per mole. You remember, this is direct question answer. And vaporization delta H VAP, evaporation of water, its value is fixed 40.6 kilojoule. Okay, due to this 40.6 kilojoule, actually steam is more dangerous than vapor. This is the main reason, because at the boiling water and steam, it's a steam, if you will compare, then you will find steam is more dangerous than boiling water. Why? Because of this latent heat of evaporation. And that's value is 40.6 kilojoule. Whenever water converts to vapor during boiling point, then that time extra energy 40.6 kilojoule it will absorb without changing the boiling point. Boiling point will be 100 degrees centigrade. Until all water will vaporize, its temperature will not change, it will be 100 degree only. And it will absorb without changing the boiling point. It will absorb 40.6 kilojoule. That's why steam is more dangerous than boiling water. Okay. Then it is fixed value. Same reasoning is for fusion of ice. When ice will fuse, that time it will absorb 6 kilojoule per mole. Now next question, I am telling you, actually this question what I discussed is a very good question, and maybe asked in IIT as well as NEET exam. Now next question, delta S, entropy change. Delta S means change in entropy. Delta S is equal to delta H upon T holds good for first option, adiabatic process. Second, isothermal reversible phase change. Third, a process at constant pressure. And fourth, a process under any condition. Again, I am repeating the question. delta S is equal to delta H upon T holds good for first option, adiabatic process. Second, isothermal reversible phase change. Third, a process at constant pressure. Fourth, a process under any condition. This also you can answer within 5 seconds. Correct? Just to think. It is again full of concept. Just to think. After that, I will tell correct answer with explanation. Its correct answer is isothermal reversible phase change. Correct? Isothermal reversible phase change. Actually, for entropy change, these are the condition. Process must be isothermal, means heat should not change. Temperature must be constant and reaction should be reversible. Okay, reversible means every step reaction should go ahead and come back, reverse. Okay, forward and backward, always it should be there, every step. Then at that condition, delta H upon delta T holds good for this process, means isothermal reversible phase change. Okay, this is the you can say condition. This is the condition I told you. Okay, delta S is equal to delta H upon T. Delta H means change in enthalpy divided by T means temperature, holds good for isothermal reversible phase change. Okay, this is the condition. Now, next question I am telling you. Actually, this what I told you, that is the main condition, isothermal reversible. That's why with delta H, you should write ReV, reversible. Delta H ReV divided by T. This is the way to write. Okay. Now, next question I am telling you. A reversible process, reversible. In a reversible process, delta S system plus delta S surrounding is first option greater than 0, second option less than 0, third option greater than equal to 0, fourth option is equal to 0. Again I am repeating the question. In a reversible process, delta S system plus delta S surrounding is first option greater than 0, second option less than 0, third option greater than equal to 0, fourth option equal to 0. This question is very good question and you can solve it within 5 seconds. Just you will see you can answer if you have studied and if you have concept. Already I have discussed. First I have discussed all the concept, all important point. Just all chapter first I have reviewed. After that I have come to the multiple choice questions. Just to remember. Now just to think, after that I will tell correct answer and explanation. Its correct answer is equal to 0. Equal to 0 means delta as a system plus delta as a surrounding, because reaction is reversible. Reversible. Correct? Then that should be finally it should be 0. Delta as a system plus delta as surrounding. If we will add both, then it will be 0. Okay. For a reversible process, this must be 0. Entropy change of system plus entropy change of surrounding equal to 0. Here you should remember that this greater than equal to 0, one condition is there that will not apply here. This actually is the combination of first law and second law. Greater than 0 and equal to 0. That is called greater than equal to 0. This is actually combination of first law and second law. Combination of first and second law. Okay, this will apply for universe. Entropy change for the universe is increasing towards maximum. Entropy of the universe is increasing towards maximum. Don't confuse here. In that case it is right. Correct? Then now in present question, in a reversible process, delta S system plus delta S surrounding is equal to 0. Option D is correct. Next question I am telling you. The total entropy change of a system and its surrounding is positive for first option reversible process, second option irreversible process, third option isochoric process, fourth option isobaric process. Again I am repeating the question. The total entropy change of a system and its surrounding is positive for first question reversible process, second irreversible process, third isochoric process, fourth isobaric process. Okay, this is also full of concept. Just you think, after that I will tell correct answer and explanation. This you can solve maximum by 10 seconds, within 10 seconds, just to think. Its a correct answer is irreversible process. Irreversible process. The total entropy change of a system and its surrounding is positive in case of irreversible process, not reversible. Irreversible process. You remember, very important question. Very this type of question may be asked in all questions are important. No, you can't tell that any question is non-important. All are very important. That's why I am discussing. Then its correct answer is irreversible process. Means option B, delta S system plus delta S surrounding. Delta means change, change in entropy of system. Change in entropy of system plus change in entropy of surrounding is positive. That is greater than 0 for irreversible process. Actually you need practice. You have to read 2-3 times this chapter, because this is not common chapter. It is a little difficult chapter. You have to revise it 2-3 times. Then it will be easy for you. Many questions are asked, numerical question, that I will discuss separately, and also questions asked in medical and engineering, IIT or NEET, that also I will discuss separately. Many questions are there, all are important. Now next question I am discussing. Free energy change of a reversible reaction. Reversible, remember, free energy change, delta G I am talking about. Free energy change of a reversible reaction at equilibrium is first option infinite, second 0, third positive, fourth negative. Again I am repeating the question. Free energy change of a reversible reaction at equilibrium is first infinite, second 0, third positive, fourth negative. This is also you can answer within 5 seconds. Correct? Because these questions are based on concept, and if you are knowing concept, quickly you apply without taking any time. Just to think, after that I will tell correct answer. Its correct answer is 0. 0. This is the condition for equilibrium. Equilibrium means reactant will go to product, again product will come back to reactant. Then that is called reversible reaction. Correct? Means a forward and backward reaction. Both will take place simultaneously. That is called equilibrium. Then at equilibrium condition, free energy means delta G, free energy change, that is 0. This is the important condition for equilibrium. Okay. Delta G is equal to 0 at equilibrium. You always remember. Now next question I am telling you. Which of the following expression define the physical significance of a free energy change? Free energy change. First option is delta G is equal to W, and delta G is equal to W, and second minus delta G is equal to W, third delta G is equal to minus W, that is actual expansion, and fourth delta G is equal to W for expansion. Listen carefully, again I am telling the option. Question I am repeating again. Which of the following expression define the physical significance of free energy change? Means formula or with condition. First option delta G is equal to W. This is for non-expansion. And second delta minus delta G is equal to W. That is again for non-expansion. Third, delta G is equal to minus W. That is for expansion. And fourth option, delta G is equal to W with for expansion. Means 2 is for non-expansion and other 2 is in case of expansion. Then first option is delta G is equal to W. This is for non-expansion. Second, minus delta G is equal to W for non-expansion. Third, delta G is equal to minus W for expansion. And fourth, delta is equal to W for expansion. This again full of concept, based on concept. You think. After that I will tell answer and explanation. Its correct answer is minus W minus delta G. Minus delta G is equal to W for non-expansion. Minus delta G is equal to W for non-expansion. Means option B. Option B is correct. Physical significance of delta G is minus delta G, that is equal to W for non-expansion. That also you can tell for useful work. For useful work. This question can also be asked in the place of non-expansion. It can ask W useful. W useful. Then this is actually physical significance of importance of delta G. Physical significance means here importance minus delta G is equal to W useful, or you can tell W non-expansive, non-expansion. Okay, this is the correct answer and explanation. Next question I am telling you, which one of the following is correct? This is a formula, direct relation is there. If you are remembering the relation, quickly you can answer. Okay, and this you will solve all thermodynamics question. You will solve only when you will read 2-3 times seriously. Okay, I have discussed in details. Entire chapter. After that I am discussing multiple choice question answer of different pattern. Okay, now question I am reading. Which one of the following is correct? First option, minus delta G is equal to delta H minus T into delta S. Very, very important relation. Second, delta H that is equal to delta G minus T into delta S. Third relation, delta S is equal to 1 upon T, and upside it is delta G minus delta H. Fourth option, delta S is equal to 1 upon T, upside delta H minus delta G. Okay, again I am repeating the question. Which one of the following is correct? First option, minus delta G is equal to delta H minus T into delta S. Second, delta H is equal to delta G minus T into delta S. Just to think, this question is also very, very important. Now, just to think, after that I will tell answer and its correct explanation. Its correct answer is delta S entropy change. Delta S entropy change is equal to 1 upon T upside delta H minus delta G. This is the correct relation. Delta S is equal to 1 upon T and upside numerator delta H minus delta G. Okay, this is the correct relation. Okay, this relation is very, very important. Delta G is equal to delta H minus T into delta S. Correct? Actually, a starting relation, one relation, first option, what was that? That was minus delta G, that is equal to delta H minus T into delta S. This relation is wrong. Actually, it should not be minus. Okay, because it is written minus, that's why it became wrong. But correct is if in the place of minus delta G, if it is plus delta G, then it will be correct. And only on the basis delta S relation you will get. Means main relation is delta G is equal to delta H minus T into delta S. This is correct relation. But this relation is not given. They have given minus delta G. If it was given positive, then it was correct. It is given minus delta G is equal to delta H minus T into delta S. But this is the wrong. Correct? Correct is delta G plus delta G is equal to delta H minus T into delta S. You have to remember This is correct relation. Second option was given delta H is equal to delta G minus T into delta S. That is also wrong. Third, that is delta is equal to 1 upon T delta G minus delta H. That is again wrong. Fourth option is correct. Delta H is equal to 1 upon delta T upside, numerator side delta H minus delta G. How this relation came? Then this came just by solving delta G is equal to delta H minus T into delta S. Just to rearrange, then you will get the value of delta S is equal to 1 upon T delta H minus delta G, because delta G is equal to delta H minus T into delta S. Then just you do one thing, T minus T into delta S, bring it to the left side, it will become plus T into delta S, and delta G you bring to the right side, then it will become delta H minus delta H. Then now what is the delta S? Then divided by T, delta H minus T, delta H minus delta G divided by T. In indirect way, both are same. Delta G is equal to delta H minus T into delta S. This is actually very popular relation. And only from that you got delta S, just after rearrangement, you got delta S is equal to delta H minus delta G upon T. Next question I am discussing. Which of the following describe the criterion of a spontaneity? Very, very important question. First option, delta H Tp, delta H at constant temperature and pressure, that is a T comma P, means constant temperature and constant pressure. Then first option is delta H Tp, T and P, that is greater than 0. This is actually condition they are asking, criterion. Which one of the following describe the criterion of a spontaneity? Means a spontaneous reaction which will take place simply without anything, quickly by own. Then first option is delta H at constant temperature and pressure must be greater than 0. Second, delta S total must be equal to 0. Third, delta G at constant temperature and pressure must be 0, must be greater than 0. And fourth, all of these. Okay, again I am telling you these things. Option, delta H at constant temperature and pressure is greater than 0. Second, delta S total is greater than 0. Third, delta G at constant temperature and pressure is greater than 0. Fourth, all of these. This is again very important question. All questions are important. You can't neglect any questions. Now, just you think. After that, I will tell correct answer and its explanation. Its correct answer is delta S total is greater than 0. Total means surrounding plus system plus surrounding. Then delta S change in entropy, total entropy, system plus surrounding. Then delta S total is must be greater than 0. Correct? This is the correct answer. Why? Because that is actually condition. This is the condition for a spontaneity. For a spontaneity, this change in entropy, total change in entropy, that is a system change, entropy change of system plus entropy change of surrounding must be greater than 0. Why 0 greater than 0? Delta S, because delta S is measuring the disorderliness, disorder. Then when disorder means it should be more positive, because molecules are breaking, it is going ahead, then entropy will change. It will be positive, means more than 0, more than 0, greater than 0. And this is a very, very important relation, condition, spontaneity, correct, or criteria or criterion. You can tell in any way. Then most criteria for to describe a spontaneity is that is the total, delta S total must be greater than 0. Next question I am telling you. For precipitation reaction of silver ion with NaCl, which of the following statement is correct? For precipitation reaction of silver ions with NaCl, which one of the following statement is correct? First, delta H for the reaction is 0. Second, delta G for the reaction is 0. Third, delta G for the reaction is negative. Fourth, delta G is equal to delta H. Again I am repeating question. For precipitation reaction of silver ions, means Ag plus ions with NaCl, which one of the following statement is correct? First option, delta H for the reaction is 0. Second, delta H for the reaction is 0. Delta G. Second option is, first was the delta H for the reaction is 0. Second delta G, free energy. Delta G for the reaction is 0. And third, delta G for the reaction is negative. Fourth, delta G is equal to delta H. This is full of concept. All questions are full of concept. But you can answer it within 10 seconds. Just to think. Okay, then I will tell correct answer and explanation. Just to think. Its correct answer is delta G for the reaction is negative. Correct? Delta G for the reaction is negative. Why? Because reaction taken place. Reaction taken place. That is the condition for a reaction. Delta G must be negative. Okay, this is the condition. As a reaction, that main thing is, as a reaction is spontaneous, because Ag plus NaCl, it has given AgCl precipitate. You have not done anything, simply you have mixed silver nitrate, that is Ag plus NO3, and in that you have added NaCl. Then just if you simply will add, reaction will take place. Means it is a spontaneous, and for the spontaneous reaction, main condition is delta G must be negative. Okay, hence option C, delta G for the reaction is negative. Option C is correct. Next question I am telling you. The sign of delta G for the process of melting of ice at 273 Kelvin and 1 atmospheric pressure is, first option A is positive, B is negative, C is neither positive nor negative, fourth either positive or negative. Again I am repeating the question. The sign of delta G for the process of melting of ice at 273 Kelvin and 1 atmospheric pressure. First option positive. Delta G value will be positive. First option. Second negative. Third neither positive nor negative. Fourth, either positive or negative. Again, it is based on concept only. Hardly it will take 10-second time to answer. Just to think. After that, I will tell the correct answer. Now I am telling the answer. Its correct answer is neither positive nor negative, as melting is a process in equilibrium. As melting is a process, because melting is a process in equilibrium. Whenever melting is going on, then it is equilibrium position. That's why for equilibrium, what is the condition? Delta G must be 0. 0 means no negative, no positive. No negative, no positive. Now, again some questions are there that I will now I will start. That is based on basic terms and concept. Basic terms and concept in thermodynamics. Okay, that question I am going to discuss. All questions are important. Okay, question now I am reading, but it is based on basic terms and concept in thermodynamics. A system, question I am reading, a system which can be exchange energy with the surrounding but no matter is called, first option, a heterogeneous system, second, an open system, third, a closed system, fourth, an isolated system. Again I am repeating the question. A system which can exchange energy with surroundings but no matter is called, first option, a heterogeneous system, second, an open system, third, a closed system, fourth, an isolated system. This is also only in the beginning I have discussed all these points. I hope if you have attended my class, quickly you will answer. Just you think, after that I will tell the correct answer and explanation. It is a closed system. That actually you should know that in open system both will exchange matter and energy, both will exchange. It is open, that's why it is called open system. When both will exchange, means it can, if requires, it can take. If it requires to give, it can give. If then both are possible. Exchange, when exchange of matter as well as energy is going on, then that is called open for all. But if it is restricted, that only energy is exchanging, not the matter, then this is a closed system. Closed means only energy can exchange, not the matter. Hence correct option is a closed system, option C. And isolated means nothing will exchange, neither energy nor matter. That is called isolated. Here correct option is closed system, only energy is exchanging, not the matter. Next question. An intensive property in thermodynamics means a property which depends on the, first option, on the amount of substance only, second, on the nature of the substance only, third, both on the amount as well as nature of the substance. Fourth, neither on the amount nor on the nature. Again, I am repeating the question. Listen carefully. An intensive properties in thermodynamics means a property which depends, first option, on the amount of the substance only. Second, on the nature of the substance only. Third, both on the amount as well as nature of the substance. Fourth, neither on the amount nor on the nature. This is also direct question answer. Just I hope you will answer quickly within 5 seconds. Just to think. After that I will tell answer and explanation. Its correct answer is on the nature of the substance only. Nature, on the nature of the substance only. Correct? This is a direct definition of intensive properties. And extensive property will depend on amount. Extensive properties depends on amount, but intensive property will depend on the nature of the substance only. Hence, correct option is B. 79. That is question number 79. Option is B, on the nature of the substance only. Okay, this is actually by definition. By definition only you can tell. Okay. Now next question I am reading. Which of the following statement is correct? First option, internal energy is a state function, but work is not. Second, work is a state function, but internal energy is not. Third, both internal energy and work are a state function. Fourth, neither internal energy nor work is a state function. Again, I am repeating the question. Which of the following statement is correct? First, internal energy is a state function, but work is not. Second, work is a state function, but internal energy is not. Internal energy is not. Third, both internal energy and work are state functions. Fourth, neither internal energy nor work is a state function. This also you can answer quickly, direct question answer. No explanation is needed. Just you think. After that I will tell answer. Its correct answer is internal energy is a state function, but work is not. First option is correct. This is the direct answer. First option is correct. Internal energy is a state function, not the work. Okay. E is a, that is internal energy is indicated by, presented by E. E is a state function, but W is not the work. W means work. Next question I am telling you. According to the latest SI convention, international system, according to the latest SI convention, which one of the following is not correct? Not correct. First, the heat absorbed by a system is taken as positive. Second, if a system is accompanied by decrease in energy, delta E is negative. Third, the work done by the system is taken as a positive. And fourth option, all the above three statements are correct. Again I am repeating the question. According to the latest SI convention, which one of the following is not correct? First, the heat absorbed by a system is taken as positive. Second, if a system is accompanied by decrease in energy, delta E is negative. Third, the work done by the system is taken as positive. Fourth, all the above three statements are correct. Now just you think. This is also important question and I have discussed. Now you think. Its correct answer is the work done by the system. The work done by the system is taken as positive. Okay, this is actually answer. This is the answer. But question was what? According to the latest SI convention, which one of the following is not correct? Not correct. Then actually this is not correct. The work done by the system is taken as positive. That is not correct. But answer is this only, because you have to question, you have to tell which is not correct. Then option C is correct answer. A statement is wrong. The work done by the system is taken as positive. This is the wrong statement, but answer is this only. Okay, is not correct. Then this is the not correct. Work done by the system is taken as positive. Other three are A, B and D. D was all the above three statements correct. That is actually A. That point is also not okay. A, B is only right. Okay, but correct question is A and B is correct statement. Correct statement, but correct answer is they are asking which is not correct. Then option C, that is a correct answer. Option C, that is the work done by the system is taken as positive. You remember many times this question was asked. Okay, work done by the system is positive. Okay, this is the actually right answer, but a statement is wrong. Now next question I am telling you now. In which of the following sets all the properties belong to the same category? All extensive or all intensive, whatever be. I am repeating the question. In which one of the following sets all the properties belong to the same category? In bracket, all extensive or all intensive. First, mass, volume and pressure. Second, temperature, pressure, volume. Third option, heat capacity, density, entropy. Fourth option, enthalpy, internal energy, volume. Now tell which one is correct. In which one of the following sets all the properties belong to the same categories, either extensive or intensive? First option, mass, volume and pressure. Third, temperature, pressure, volume. Third, heat capacity, density, entropy. Fourth, enthalpy, internal energy, volume. Just to think again, full of concept. Just to think and answer. After that I will tell the correct answer. Its correct answer is enthalpy, internal energy, volume. Enthalpy, internal energy, volume. Okay. H, E and V are all extensive properties. Extensive properties means it depends on matter. If mass we can tell quantity. If quantity is more, then H will be more, enthalpy will be more, internal energy will be more, it will have more volume. Means all are extensive properties. Extensive properties means properties which depends on quantity. Quantity means H, E and B all are mass dependent. Hence correct answer is H, E and B. That is the fourth option, enthalpy, internal energy, volume. One more question I want to discuss. Two question I want to discuss too. Now question I am telling. A process in which no heat change takes place is called. A process in which no heat change takes place is called, first, an isothermal process, second, adiabatic process, third, an isobaric process, fourth, an isochoric process. This question is easy. Just we will see and will tell. Then 5 seconds. Just to think. After that I will tell the correct answer. Okay, just to think. Its correct answer is adiabatic process. Actually, this is condition. In adiabatic process, there will be no heat exchange. Q is equal to 0. No heat exchange. Okay. Here I want to tell you meaning of isothermal process if temperature is constant. Temperature is constant. And adiabatic process, there will be no heat exchange. Heat exchange is different, temperature is different. There, isothermal process, temperature will not change. If you are doing suppose 27 at 27 degree, then from the beginning to last, you have to maintain 27 degree. But during the reaction, heat may produce or it may require heat. Then here Q is equal to 0. Q is equal to 0. If it is increasing, it will not go outside. If it requires, you will not take it from outside. Means there will be no exchange of heat. No exchange of heat. Correct? And isobaric process means pressure must be constant during the process. And isochoric process means volume must be constant throughout the reaction. Hence correct option is a process in which no heat change takes place is called adiabatic process. Last question, today's last question. Which one is true? Which one is true? First, 1 calorie is greater than 1 erg. 1 erg is greater than 1 joule. Second option, 1 erg is greater than 1 calories. 1 calorie is greater than 1 joule. Third, 1 calorie is greater than 1 joule. 1 joule is greater than 1 erg. Fourth, 1 joule is greater than 1 calorie. 1 calorie is greater than 1 erg. Again, repeating the question. Listen carefully. Which one is true? First option. 1 calorie is greater than 1 erg. 1 erg is greater than 1 joule. Second, 1 erg is greater than 1 calories. 1 calorie is greater than 1 joule. Third, 1 calorie is greater than 1 joule and 1 joule is greater than 1 erg. Fourth, 1 joule is greater than 1 calorie and 1 calorie is greater than 1 erg. Think it. Quickly you can answer. Less than 5 seconds. This you should know actually. This is very, very important. Just to think. Its correct answer is option B. Option B. Not option B, option C. Option B, calorie is out of 3, calorie is the biggest unit. Second is joule, third is erg. Correct? 1 calorie is greater than 1 joule, 1 joule is greater than 1 erg. Okay, don't forget. This is the actually relation, very important relation. You know that 4.184 joule is equal to 1 calorie and 10 to the power 7 erg is equal to 1 joule. Correct? This relation don't forget. 1 calorie and joule. This thing. I told you 4.18, 4.2, what you are telling in general way, 4 actually is 18, what you are telling 4.2, joule is equal to 1 calorie, and 10 to the power 7 erg, 10 to the power 7 erg is equal to 1 joule. Okay, 4.184 exactly, 4.184 joule is equal to 1 calorie and 1 erg, or you can tell better, 10 to the power 7 erg is equal to 1 joule, or 1 erg is equal to 10 to the power minus 7 joule, minus. Anyway, you can remember that calorie is the out of 3 biggest, second is the joule, third is the erg. 10 to the power 7 erg is equal to 1 joule and 4.184 joule is equal to 1 calorie. Then today I am stopping only here. Many questions are there. Next class again I will continue. Thank you.